Hello YouTubers, this is Engineer Pat, live here at my desk. As you can see, I have a lot of collectibles here in my office, after redoing my office. So we're going to actually go through all of these individually. And you can see I have a regular trucks and cars side, and I have the racing side. We're going to start over here with the racing side. We're going to work our way back, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get out the first car. First car I have up here is number 70 from the late J.D. McDuffie, Classic Trophies. These were actually all my grandfather's, except for two of them, which I'll get to in a minute. But these cars are awesome. I never really heard of J.D. McDuffie, but I heard he was really good and did a lot of racing for a long time. So that is number 70 from J.D. McDuffie. The next one's one of my favorites, is this guy. It's Bill Elliott's 94 McDonald's Thunderbird Thunderbat McDonald's car. This was actually a pretty interesting one. This was probably released the year that Batman came out. One of his best schemes was the original number 94 with the red, white, and blue, and yellow. I don't have one of those on my collection, but I'm looking forward to finding one of those. But Bill Elliott was one of the famous drivers, so just pick it up, take a look at it. There's the front, there's the side, and the back. It's a very nice model. This was made by Racing Champions. So that is number 94 by Bill Elliott. Next one here is Michael Waltrip's number 30 Pennzoil Grand Prix. This was actually a car about in the late 70s, early 80s when Michael got started. Of course, he was preceded before that by his brother Daryl, who drove the Budweiser Chevrolet back in the 70s. As you can see, the hood opens. Has Pennzoil underneath the hood, which is actually a very nice touch. With a little engine inside, as you can see, and the wheels actually turn on this model. So, and these two here, the hoods don't open, and the wheels are just straight. So, very nicely done too. And there's the back, and of course the side. I believe this was made by Racing Champions. Doesn't say, but anyway, that's Michael Waltrip's number 30 Pennzoil. The next one is this guy. It's Terry Labonte's 94 Sunoco Oldsmobile. Once again, the hood opens for this one. Terry Labonte was a famous driver. He drove this car. He also drove the Eagle Snacks car, and also drove the number 5 Kellogg's car in the newer years of NASCAR. And now Terry is retired, and his legacy lives on. So let me go and bring it forward so you look at the front. Front is nicely done. There's the side, and the back. It's a very nice model. And I think these are getting pretty hard to find. Some of these are hard to find. So the next one is this guy. It's Bobby Hillman's number 90 Hegeland Myers Furniture. This is a Ford Thunderbird again. As you can see, the hood opens. Don't know too much about Bobby Hillman, but I know he was a good driver. I don't know what happened to Hegeland Myers Furniture. I think they went out, but I'm not sure. But if anybody knows, please let me know. But he was a good driver back in the day. I think he's long gone. But anyway, that's number 90. The next one is one of everybody's favorites. Is Mark Martin's number 6 Valvoline Ford Thunderbird. Now, Mark Martin was one of the most famous out there. He drove the number 6 Valvoline for many years, and he drove the number 6 Viagra. And now he is retired, and he also drove the number 6 AAA car. See there, the hood opens, as you can see here. So there's the front, now the side, and now the back. And that is Mark Martin's number 6. And the next one is Richard Petty, the King. 7 championships, 200 wins. This is his number 43 STP Grand Prix. Richard Petty is one of the most famous drivers. Did a lot of racing for years, and his museum is in North Carolina, so please take some time to visit the Richard Petty Museum. I have personally been, and I really, really enjoyed it. So that is Richard Petty's number 43. Alright, the next two cars are pretty cool. It's Rusty Wallace's early version, number 2 Pontiac Grand Prix. Rusty Wallace was a good driver back in the day. He raced this car in the late 70s and even into the 80s. This was actually one of his earlier models. And then, of course, his newer number 2. I'm going to put them side by side so you can see them both. This one here is the newer number 2. Note it was Miller Lite because that was his huge sponsor. And this one is actually the Elvis Presley's Viva Las Vegas Special. I think this was made by Racing Champions. I believe it was. And of course the hood opens. Because this is actually one of the better detailed cars out of all of them. Because you can look at the inside, they got some good detail in there. I love the piano keys around the bumpers. I'll make a spin around there. This is actually a bank, but I don't use it as a bank. As you can see, piano keys, Viva Las Vegas. Just very, very nicely done. Rusty is now retired, but his legacy lives on. So, as you can see here, there are the two cars. So anyway, there's Rusty Wallace's number 2. And there's the front of the car, by the way. Good old Elvis. And the last car belongs to this guy. Ricky Rudd, one of the most famous drivers too. Ricky Rudd practiced back in the day. As you can see here, it's a Ford Taurus. Rusty Wallace's new one's a Ford Taurus as well. This is actually a pretty interesting car too, because Tide Rock's the best surgeon around. Later, he actually retired, and then the car was handed over to Ricky Craven, who replaced the number 10 with 32. No moving parts on this one, just except it just rolls, and the hood does not open. So that is the last racing car of my desk. I do have a couple of more of these, but I have to find them though. But see, there is the racing class. So I'm going to give you a rooftop shot of all of them. Give you another view of them for your enjoyment. Anyway, there's the racing section, and in the next part I will do the other side of my desk. So anyway, thank you all for watching this part, and I will be right back with part 2. Thanks. This is Engineer Pat, out.